What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sideline to Baseline with your host MB and Klew. We are back, y'all. We are back. Merry Christmas to y'all. And guess what? We right around the corner to a happy New Year.
New Year. True.
So, listen, business folk, get all them expenses out. The cutoff is coming. You better write everything off right now.
Yep. Get your donation. Get your donation. Have your donations in.
Hey, BLB should have put together 501c, baby. You could have said it here.
Exactly. I'm still young enough to be a dependent. Put me down as a dependent.
Hey, so I had a cousin LB that put on Facebook. Alicia, hey baby, my cousin put out there on Facebook. I bet y'all gonna learn today. She basically put, and I'm paraphrasing. She said, "All y'all let folks claim your kids. Y'all finna get they finna get paid 3 times off that." So when you just said you
right.
can be a dependent, made me think about it on Facebook. Alicia say, boy, these stimulus packages, boy, they got hit with regular taxes, then got paid again with the first stimulus, and they hit them across the head again. It'll be, boy, I should have claimed somebody churn.
Yeah. Especially when you was a coach, man. You take the kids home, drop them off, feed them enough. Should claim all those being a high school coach. Yeah,
absolutely. So you know that deal, LB. You be spending money. You paying them to coach when you in high school.
Exactly.
It is a reverse type of relationship.
Like, dropping kids off at home and it be driveway full of cars.
Yeah, 6 cars in the drive. I'm like, what? And then boy finna walk.
It's fun. Coach, I ain't got no ride.
It's a thankless job because nobody come outside and tell you thank you for driving.
No doubt. That's so true. God, that's so true.
Oh my goodness, y'all. This is the real stories that really happened. And then y'all yelling at the sideline about what we ain't doing. What you need to do is come to practice every day and take some of these boys home.
Exactly.
Then I'll bring you on the field and let you yell at me. Oh man, boy, we get sidetracked every time. It was some games played and
bowl week, baby, bowl week.
Yes, sir.
Bowl season.
And it was some folks that was problems around here. He's a problem.
He's a problem, bowl style.
Listen, man, BYU drove the what was it, Coastal Carolina a couple of weeks back and got their little season kind of ended, because they was trying to get into that Final Four some kind of way. But Zach Wilson said, listen, man, y'all must have forgot around here. He beat up on UCF 49-23, went 26 of 34, 425 yards. That's right. I said 425. 425 yards, 3 touches. Hey, 210.6 QBR MB. I ain't say that one stuff that we usually say when we talking about these quarterbacks, we talking
right.
about this QBR language. We say 112, 120 something, 130 something. I just said 210.
Good Lord.
0.6 QBR, baby. Zach Wilson, he's a problem.
Man, he's a problem. Good Lord. That's some like Madden stuff where you pumped up?
Yeah.
Crazy. 200 and something?
Yeah, 210 QBR.
That's crazy. Hey, listen, man. Hey, we going bowl. Obviously, only games being played in college football is the bowl week, and we going to the R+L Carrier Bowl. And I'm going to go defense. I'm stomping my feet over here. You can't hear me. Defense. And, man, number 18 with the bird eye view, my man Justin Birdsong from Georgia Southern. Getting it down, man, leading his team to victory with defense. All right, beat him 38-3, and he was a big reason. Only had 1 tackle, Klew, but he had 2 picks.
Wow.
2 picks, right? For a total. They actually had 4 picks total. 3 of them came in the red zone, man. They getting it down, man. And going into the game against Louisiana Tech, Louisiana Tech had a streak of 18 straight victories versus Sun Belt Conference team. And Georgia Southern say, we ain't having that. We ain't turned out nothing but college, baby. And they had 2 picks. My man Birdsong getting it done. All right, helping lead his team to a victory, baby. Defense.
Not today. Yes, sir. Hey, another problem. Appalachian State University. Hey, Cameron. And that's R-U-N.
Don't forget that Cameron, because he was running.
so it'll be that I already told you. His mama spelled this name R-U-N, and all y'all had a problem with it. To the other night. When Cam ran for 370 yards and 5 touches, MB. Cam ran. Okay. Maybe mama did mess his name up because he didn't run, he ran. Cameron Peoples, running back App State, he's a problem.
Hey, man, you got to speak those things into existence, man. and you mentioned about BYU earlier, man. They calling out Coastal Carolina. But, man, what a game. What a bowl game in the FBC Mortgage Cure Bowl. Good Lord, FBC Mortgage Cure. You're right, Double A say he's still running. He's still running like Forrest Gump, baby. Still running. Run, Forrest, run. Hey, but one thing, man, golly, I mean, you talking about running the ball. I mean, just think about this quarterback, Malik Willis, right?
Oh,
for
yeah.
Liberty, right?
Yeah.
I mean, passing wise, man, he's out there clowning. 19 for 29 attempts for 220 yards and 2 interceptions, right?
Yeah.
But running the ball, he's a problem. 21 carries for 137 yards and 4 touches.
Yeah.
4 touchdowns, baby, getting it done, man, leading our Liberty to an upset victory, overtime victory against Coastal Carolina, 37-34 overtime block kick, helped secure the game, man. Malik Wilson with his feet, he's a problem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was an outstanding game, all the way to the end, all the way to a blocked field goal. You know, I think that thing went down, and Malik he was the reason why. Like on offense for Liberty, he was told, "Hey, LB, you know how we say he was told to know." Hey, going to the NFL, man. Unless you got another college one.
Nah, I had one more, but no, we good. Let's
go ahead.
No, we good. NFL.
All right, well, NFL, because listen, this guy been a little quiet because quiet as it kept. You got to remember, we thought Tom Brady came here. We gonna be looking at Mike Evans name every week. I'm saying every week it was gonna be big game after big game, and he's had some big games. He's been solid throughout the year, but not like he was yesterday. Or was it yesterday? Yeah, Mike Evans went in a blowout. Yeah, it was yesterday, 47-7. Against Detroit, it was a blowout. He went 10 catches, 181 yards, MB. 181 yards, 2 touches. Listen, all he did was catch balls for 20 yards every play. Every time they threw it to him, it was 20. Okay. They call him 2 first down, MB. Throw it over there to 2. 2 first down. Mike Evans. He's a problem.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to stay in that receiver vein, man. And, man, I tell you what, man, we're going to talk about this other cat. They like Batman and Robin. And, man, I can't even call him Batman and Robin because he ain't no sidekick, man. This joker, the real deal, got his little Air Jordan cleats on. They were showing one point where he was doing his footwork off the line of scrimmage, showing those Air Jordan cleats because he was being like Mike, if I could be like Mike. And I'm talking about Devontae Adams holding it down, man. This for 142 yards and 3 touches, man. Hey, this young fella's getting it down, man. Every week, every time he play, you know who they throwing it to because the other receivers, you can't name the other receivers. Sure. He the big dude that you got to stop. and you can't stop them, man. You cannot stop them getting it done. All right, for Green Bay Packers led them to a 14 victory over the Titans, man, in that snow, baby. Hey, that Joker like Dasher, man. He dashing all over the place, wasn't slipping. He was slipping and sliding, for touchdowns and making all the catches. Here's a problem.
Yes, sir. Well, my uncle said, don't stop. Get it. Okay, so Devontae ain't gonna stop, baby. Hey, so my last problem, man. This dude is a problem, man. This dude is an absolute problem, and he been a problem since he touched the NFL. And I think it's only gonna get better and better. MB I got a little bit of insight in talking to Coach CJ and Coach Payton about this guy and who he reminded us of a Hall of Famer. He definitely reminded both of us of a Hall of Famer, and we spoke to them about that. And they basically ain't tell us we was lying. They felt the same way about it. Mr. Alvin Kamara, man. 6 touches? I'm just going straight to it, MB. he went 155, okay? He had 155, but 6 touches, MB? Why did? Where they do that at?
He could have had 7. Could have had 7.
MB, that's called a great offensive day. Okay, that means everybody on offense balled out. When say they scored 6 touchdowns.
No doubt.
What do you call it when one dude did it, MB? That's what you got to talk to me about. Give me, at AA, we ain't even named the guy, but that's who we was talking about. When we talked to Coach CJ and Coach Payton, we basically brought up Marshall and MB. I don't even know why we didn't think about it, because when we had Marshall on the show, we didn't think about asking him about it. To see what his thoughts were about Alvin Kamara. But
I was blown away by his turning them down story. So I was in shock. Yeah.
Hey, then you just would have had stories about y'all practice field against him, MB. Your stories were way better when you said when we played that joke and thought he was a little scat back, and he proved that no, I bring that hat too. I dug it.
No doubt. Marshall Park, grown man.
But Alvin Kamara, absolutely a problem.
Hey man, I'm going on the defensive side, man. Recruited this kid out of high school, initially committed to UCLA, then the coach left, and he's like, you know what, man, I'm getting out my commitment. I'm staying home to Georgia. He kept his talent in state, man. Hey, Rayquan Smith, middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears, putting the D back into the Bears. All right, we focus on my man Khalil Mack, rightfully so, but Rayquan holding it down. Had 8 tackles, Klew, but the most important thing, had 2 picks, baby. Linebacker position, getting it down, man. 2 picks, trying to help these Bears make the playoff, man. They end up beating I know, well, you may not say, you probably say it won't count when I tell you who they played, but they played Jacksonville Jaguars, 41. But it's the NFL, man. They still count, man, for a linebacker to get 2 picks. Hey, ain't turned down nothing but college. Rayquan Smith holding it down. He's the problem.
MB, let me tell you something. It can't count if after the game your organization celebrated. That's got to factor in somehow, MB. If after the game your organization front office started popping bottles, MB, if they was in there saying, yeah,
and they won the lotto, baby.
They just popping bottles everywhere.
They won the lottery, man. They won the lottery.
Running around like they're in the club with the streamers, the streamers attached to the bottles, and they're sparkling going off. Like that should make what you just said don't count. Okay, I'm sorry, LB.
It should be disqualified.
Absolutely. That coach. All right. let's keep it real. He fired anyway, but he'd have got fired last night. He would have won that game. Let's go all the way, keeping it real, okay? So they said, do you want your job for these last 3 weeks? That was the question, LB.
Right.
Do you want your job for the last? Because if you mess around and win this game, we through. We through. Think about what you said just a week ago, MB, when the Jets did what they did.
They clowning.
You said they clowning.
And they doubled down on it this week. They won again. They like, all right, we don't win, might as well keep winning.
Hey, I'm blaming Frank Gore for all that, man. I told you that when it happened the first week. I said you got to make a phone call to alumni because he doing that foolishness.
Yeah, he don't want to.
He ain't going out like that.
Got too much pride, man. I'm about alumni, man. Only the third person in NFL history with 16,000 yards, man. Good job, Frank Gore, holding it down.
MB, I think more importantly, the yards. I think his story needs to be shared with, especially the new age type of athlete and the kids that, you know, and even organizations that say, you know what, this guy, he tore his knee up or he got a bad shoulder. We ain't gonna deal with him. He can't last long. I mean, he done what odds he hasn't like proved wrong or disproved, MB.
Man, you talking about 2 ACLs, man? I mean, it's and then at a position where the lifespan is short. You know, NFL already mean not for long, but when you talking about running back,
right?
I mean, just the pounding and the way he runs the ball, man. I mean, just hey, man, it's just that's the grace of God, bro. He's definitely double for your trouble. He's definitely getting it done. You know,
his story is unbelievable because you said the two knees, right? And then you said the running back position, you can probably really say 8 years or less, even if you are a top guy, right? And then you done did there in there 20. What do you got? 15? I mean,
crazy,
so with the two knees.
Right.
And at quote unquote the wrong position. And still get it done. So I just love somebody to kind of document, and he out there still playing in his son out there. I know he in college, y'all, but he's still out there playing. He told him no to his son. He calling his son and say, I beat you again tonight, or the son said, oh, man, I got you. Like, that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
That him and his son talking about the game for real. Like, he ain't talking about the game and you watching.
Exactly.
Hey, your son giving you critique on your game. Look, man, you should have came up out of this tackle. What's wrong, bro? So on a whole nother note. So I think he's definitely a story worth being told. So somebody need to get behind that right there, MB. So the playoffs, MB. Playoffs. Hey, listen, they setting up and obviously games were being played, but I think MB and MB got on me a little bit. Man, listen, we supposed to talk about the game. But I think at this point, the game and what matters more is what position you're in. Not even the style you playing, not even breaking down the game. It's more like y'all need to win or y'all out. Or y'all need to keep winning to stay in this position because you definitely need a bye. And so when we're looking at this, I pulled up the playoffs, and AFC is kind of, those top three: Kansas City, Pittsburgh, and then Buffalo. All of these guys have clinched. It's kind of a wrap over there. The NFC, you got the Packers. And see, this is what's been interesting, MB, between the Packers, the Saints, and the Seahawks. They've been fluctuating, going 1, 2, and 3 all year. It seemed like the NFC East.
Right.
With the Giants.
Right.
And the Washington football team. Like, they've been doing that. So I'm interested and excited about what's going on over there, because you
Right.
got a Green Bay Packers team, like you said, MB. We know two people on the roster, boy, and they getting it done. And right now, they're the number one team in
Yeah.
NFC. However, the Saints a game behind, and Seattle Seahawks just a game behind. So this thing, man, you start talking about resting guys, MB, and all this kind of stuff. No, y'all got to win next week.
Right. Right. Yeah. The only team that in the past, you're right. That's what you got. You got heading into that last week. Teams like you say resting players, but I mean with them expanding the playoff, right? Adding another team. It's only one team, the number one seed, that's got a bye week now. And so now when you talk about that AFC, Kansas City Chiefs, they locked that down. So really, when you talk about the Steelers and the Bills clinch the playoff, I mean, they're still vying for that second seed position, right?
Mhm.
So then now next week, instead of where it could be like, oh, let me just chill, it's like, nah, we got to play it out, And then especially NFC, like you mentioned, it's definitely musical chairs right there, because the Packers, even though they're number one seed right now with 12-3 record, I mean, if they end up getting tired, I think they lose, then Seahawks win and Saints win. I mean, it's musical chairs again. So they got to keep playing all the way strong to the end, though. So it's definitely some. They definitely did what they wanted to do with this whole COVID and the whole expand the playoff. You definitely still got competitive actions all the way to the last week.
And listen, MB, I'm gonna stay right there in the NFC East. You look at the Packers matched up with Tennessee. They could easily lose that game. You just said, you know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna play the Tennessee Titans this coming up weekend, and then all of a sudden that's a wrap. And they're tied. Let's say if Seattle beat the Rams, who the Rams could easily beat Seattle. So the Seattle could drop, or they could end up being first. I think the for sure win, if you saying out of these three, has to be the Saints playing the Vikings.
Well, no, yeah, and I know what you're saying about that based on what happened, you're right. I mean, the Saints end up killing the Vikings, blowing them out like you talked about with Kamara had 6, and then the scenario this past week with the Packers, they in the snow, they end up killing Tennessee, So that's the thing, and then and you look at the Seahawks. I mean, for the division, had that week they just beat the Rams. So definitely that schedule where it played out this past week is definitely set this up now. So now you're going into the last week where, like I said, you can't rest your starters. Like the Packers, they got real game and meaningful games. The Packers this week got the Bears, right? And so the Bears, they're trying to fight and hold off, trying to get in that last spot, hold off Arizona, get in with the win. Then the Saints, they're going to come and play the Panthers at home. And then now you got Seattle that's got to play the 49ers. And the 49ers, they beat Arizona, put the L on them to make Arizona now try to get in the hunt, And so when you look at it, and then the Bucks secured their spot, they got the Falcons again. So, but then now the Bucks trying to maintain the 5 seed right now. And then the Rams, like I mentioned, they got to play Arizona. So if they win, they in. If the Bears beat the Packers, they're in. If not, then the Rams got to hope the Bears lose, and the Bears got to hope Arizona lose if they lose. So it's just a lot of different scenarios for those last spots. And that's not even talking about the NFC East. So you're right when you talk about this week, it's definitely set up where it's some must-watch games that anything can happen,
So in the AFC and NFC, let's go. AFC, there's only one bubble team alleged, MB. That's your Colts. And that was a team that you felt like I think you had them winning the division, MB, in the beginning of the year. Not sure, but I remember you because you came out of nowhere with me because I wasn't really familiar with them like that. But they still got a chance, basically. They're on the bubble, and they're in a situation. at watch this, LB. They at 10-6 now. Boy, that NFC East though, MB.
Yeah.
That'll win you everything over there. And then you look at the book. This is the funny part. The Washington football team had a chance to really secure it, I felt like, and they dropped the ball, MB. I mean, you look at Ohio State quarterback.
Yeah, Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins. MB. I mean, how many chances do you need? How many chances do you get? I think the kid hadn't really been focused. He didn't have the right people around him, mentor-wise, to really get this job done. I think they turning the page on him, MB, after this game.
Yeah, I mean, you think, man, they did. They ended up he ended up getting they released him today. They cut.
Oh, I ain't even catch that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly like, wow.
Yeah. They got released, and because the guy that came in and played for him actually played much better than him, so they feel like, hey, we'll go into this week with this guy, or we'll get Alex Smith back. But no, they cut him, man. You just think like second year, first round pick, hometown boy. I mean, but you're right, man. I mean, he can't blame nobody but himself, and that's the positive thing he took. He said, I got to do better as a person, you know. But he got to get better.
He's never, to me, I think one of those things that happen, listen, guys, and MB and I can speak really tremendous insight into this, where I'm going to go with it. It is very difficult for you to come out of a college situation and actually look at football like it's a business. It takes a while. It really does. There's a transition period. Even though you're getting checks at the end of it, most of these guys, Miami, Florida State, been getting checks.
Haters.
So they.
I can't even joke and say Pell Grant checks.
It'll be everybody. Hey, so they been getting checks, so that ain't no difference to them. However, like the whole transition to. And a lot of people gonna misconstrue this and think that I'm saying they're not taking it serious. That's not what I'm saying. But the fact that they aren't looking at it like this is my job changes, it changes your focus. Like preparation. Like Dwayne Haskins had a ton of guys around him that really there was probably 3 games a year he had to play. Well, it'll be, maybe 4. Now all of a sudden, it's even Steven every week, MB. Them jokers went to the same schools. You actually 3 of your teammates on the other team. So
right.
It's no more that you just gonna walk on the field and because you the Ohio State University, you get a win. Because you Texas, you get a win. Those days are over when you get in NFL. Like, as a matter of fact, it's corners over there believing that you was trash and they finna show everybody you was trash. Like, it's the complete opposite. Like, a corner from Iowa saying, man, I don't know how they thought you was good. I was killing everything you did. And I'm finna show them today. So you got the whole different mentality. Folks trying to get back at you. That's what's happening. For what they felt like, how they were overlooked. The other quarterback on the other team, he played at Michigan, and you overshadowed him the whole time. Nice get back. This is what happens, and I think he went into that, MB, not understanding any of it because of the red carpet that's laid out for first round picks. It can be intoxicating, and I think he never came out of that. I think everybody laid everything. Oh, he'll be all right. Oh, we gonna work with him. And he started believing it. He forgot whatever the work he put in high school, all the work he put in collegiately, even to prepare for this moment. He forgot because, how it is, MB. And I guarantee you, it happened to me. And y'all have historical workouts. And it happened to me. when you do an NFL workout and you try to go back to college and do their workout, it is not the same. Okay, it is not the same. You don't work out in the NFL, so you actually have to do more. You have to leave that workout. We all would leave our team workout and go work out again.
Right.
It'll be because it wasn't enough. So I'm just telling you guys, I believe they ain't put enough people around him. There was no mentorship. He didn't get up under Doug. We had Doug here. He didn't get up under Doug. Doug would have told him what was going to happen. Doug would have told him straight up what was going to happen. And he should have surrounded himself not with your homeboys and all the yes men who now they about to be looking at you like, what happened, bro? What happened? We were popping bottles. That's what happened. You was in there with me, LB.
Lou Williams was with him. He was at the strip club. Yeah, no, but I mean, what you said is so right, and just a little information I read about him. You know, like you said, when you get in NFL, man, it's a business, man. You got to be a professional. You got to take care of business, man. And you right now, you're an independent contractor.
Yep,
that's what you are. And what you do is your advertising. You're a walking billboard of what you're all about, and you got to be a pro. You know, and especially at the quarterback position when you talk about preparing, and that's one of the reasons why he got benched early in the season, because he didn't properly prepare. They feel like he didn't put in the work, and especially when you talk about quarterback, man, you live at the office. You're an extension of the coach, and you got to put in the work, man. And a lot of times, and not just him, with anybody, when you're so talented, right, that you think it's just you can get by with your talent, but man, talent ain't enough.
But MB, I'm gonna jump in there again and say that guys like yourself and Jesse, come on now, you pulled us along. We were sitting there and y'all was like, look, after y'all was like, when we broke for the day, y'all like, linebackers stay in here. You see what I'm saying? Like, and then like everybody went home, and what were we doing? Sitting there watching film. So that just becomes who you are. And then when we went home, we was like, what we doing? No, we supposed to stay. Now y'all staying because we used to stay. And we like, no, let's get some film in, at least something in because y'all created that, hey, listen, we ain't complete here till we do it ourselves and start. And that's what I'm saying. He didn't get the right toolage. He didn't get around anybody. And so MB, when you guys move on, guess what automatically happens? We still watch the tape. You know, at the end of the day, guys, like practice over, meetings over, everybody done hit it, and the linebacker's still in the film room. And we another hour to 2 hours worth of film, and then we going home watching more film to come back to talk about it. And we already, hey man, I noticed this, I noticed that, because we learned as young guys, we can be a huge asset and be important to the game by relaying messages and stuff we've seen to MB and Jesse, and at the same time, even not that we showed them something, but we confirmed things to them. I saw that too. Okay, now they really gonna go at it now because they already saw it, but now 2 or 3 of us done said we saw it too. So now they believe it. And MB, as soon as when he see the lineup, he gone. He gone. Yeah. He don't care no more.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm agreeing. He didn't put in the work. From everything I read about him, heard about him. You know, like I said, that was the reason why they benched him, because he didn't put in the work.
But that's not all his fault, MB. That's what I'm saying. Like, did Alex Smith take him up under his wing? Probably not.
But I'm saying, like, and you're right, when you get that in that quarterback room, that room's a little different, right? There's only 2 or 3 guys, right? And obviously having a guy, older guy in the room like that who understands how to be a pro, who's fighting to get back on the field, you know, that pays in. But what I'm saying, the MO, like, you got to look at it. He was a 1-year starter at Ohio State. And so, and then the MO coming at him, they're telling, hey, be patient with him. It's going to take him a minute, right? And then, you know, based on reading between the lines, he haven't been the one that seemed to me to go the extra mile. based on, that's my assumption based on what I read,
what we see.
Right. And so you're right. That's where you say a lack of leadership, or supposedly, or maybe Alex did try to get with him and say, hey, man, you need to do this. But even the coach, the quarterback coach, is going to be whispering at, hey, man, this is what you need to do to get prepared. This is things you need to do. But unfortunately, you can't make those guys do that. They got to want it. I remember I was talking to Coach Fox, and I was like, when he went to Carolina, I was like, Coach, man, you running our scheme? He's like, nah, MB. He say, man, these kids nowadays, man, when they leave that building, they ain't trying to study no more. They ain't trying to put in that work. And that was like that was like not too long after he left the Giants. So what, almost 15 years ago, or probably longer than that. That dude's not putting in the work. So it's just that mindset. That's why I say, even as a coach in college, you try to teach these kids, hey, talent ain't enough. You got to separate yourself. You got to become a student of the game. You got to put in the work. And that, especially at that position, man, like I said earlier, you got to be a coach on the field. And you're right. The leadership, having a bigger room, you got more chances of guys having influence. But when your room's small, like quarterback room, 2 or 3 spot, and you all battling for the spot, I don't know if Alex did, but it seemed to me the type of the character that he displayed, that I'm sure he was trying to put him underneath his wing. But hey, you could lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. And that's the thing. You gotta be able to drink, man. You gotta want this thing, man.
Yeah, that's so tough. And I guess, with you explaining it that way, this also could have been a situation where he was running from expectations. Maybe it's easier if I'm not even out there, if I'm not even paying attention, if I'm not putting in the work, then at least that's an excuse. But the fact that I don't understand and have no clue of what's going on out there, and that's the toughest thing for a lot of guys to admit, because like MB is talking about this system, I could draw Foxy's system up and still had no clue when you playing it what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like it's totally different, y'all. With you sitting up there drawing stuff and then going out there and being those X's and O's, that's a different animal. And so that's what I'm saying, MB, he may have been able, to draw up every scheme they had, but you and I know that ain't football.
Right. I mean, they was. I was reading the article. They was talking about his progressions wasn't fast enough. I mean, that's the whole thing. You gotta put in work, man. Yeah. You gotta put in coaches' hours. Like if you ain't naturally able to pick that stuff up, man, you gotta put in more work, man. Right. And I mean, for him, and just to look outside looking in, I mean, it's a lot of question marks, man. So. And like, I'm not surprised they released him based on the little bit I know about him and what's happening, And Ron Rivera, like, man, nobody got time for this.
And LB, I'm gonna drop a key to success nugget out there for y'all parents with kid athletes. This is how you get reps in NFL. There's a few ways. You have to be able to see yourself doing everything that guy in front of you is doing it. So those are reps. And then guess what? Football is a situation where most of the time you train, you're going to be by yourself. It just is. Like, I don't care what level, where you are, who you are, most of the time you're going to be by yourself. So that means you're going to have to be able to envision, if it's football, those 10 other guys out there on the football field. And
mental reps, baby. Mental reps.
Based on that.
Mental reps.
If he... And I would tell athletes all the time, if you can't train and put yourself in those moments, I don't know how you get better, because we don't play football enough, MB, to really get better.
Right.
My tidbit.
Right. Yeah, you got to get those mental reps, man. You got to play the game all the time, always.
Yeah.
When you're on the sideline, you got to be like you in there. You got to play through him. You can't get enough reps, man. You can't get enough. You got to go and you got to do it. You got to find the way you learn, whether you learn by doing it, then you got to somehow, like you say, flight simulator or something. Yeah. You got to figure out a way to get that stuff done, man. Hey,
man,
but it all start with committed, man. You got to be committed on being the best.
Yes, sir.
BNB, man. Committed on being my best.
Hey, Man, and speaking on being your best, we talked about the worst earlier in the Jacksonville Jaguars. They in the what sounding like could be the Urban Meyer sweepstakes, MB.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? First of all, I sent you a little article by you in Yahoo Sports about old Urban and Jacksonville and the Texans being interested in him, and what the writer actually had to say about Urban. He wasn't all the way high on him, MB.
Yeah, well, I mean, he just talked more about the article you sent. More, it was talking about how the stress behind the job,
Right.
that it takes a toll on him. He retired a couple of times because of health issues and stuff like that. And then he was, like you mentioned earlier, about the playing field is leveled more in the NFL.
Yeah.
You don't have the athletes, or you don't have the talent advantage that you may have at Ohio State or at Florida, stuff like that, where you could just but win all the games. So the thing is, the losses he had, I think, at Ohio State, 7 years, he was 83-9.
Wow.
And you can get those many losses in one season. Double those, almost double those losses in some places, right?
Hey,
in the NFL,
proved it.
yeah. So until you get it going on, so that's what the article's saying that you sent. But for me, man, you look at it. I mean, shoot, why not him? You look at people that made the changes. Everywhere he's been successful. Has a overall record of 187 wins and 32 losses for a winning percentage at 854. And he hadn't always been at Florida, always been at Ohio State. He was at Bowling Green at Utah. You talk about Alex Smith. He was his coach. And so you're right. You ask, some people can make that transition, and then some people can't. Double A talking about Steve Spurrier. You look at the good, the bad, the ugly. The good would be Pete Carroll, Jimmy Johnson, even your boy Jim Harbaugh, right? That's where he made that transition. He was at Stanford, ended up jumping to the NFL and doing extremely well. But then the bad and the ugly, Chip Kelly, my man Nick Saban. I wish Pat Jam was here, Pat Wagner was here, right? The ugly, right? Steve Spurrier, we talked about him, so that transition. So with Urban, I think he can get it done, especially nowadays. If he go to the right situation, get his quarterback, he can run a scheme. Now, a lot of people running the spread offense, running the scheme there. He can get that done. You just got to put a great team of people around him, and the type of coach he is, dudes want to play for him. So I think he can get it done in the right situation. And Jacksonville, you talking about Jacksonville? I mean, Trevor Lawrence. We was talking about another coach, right? Being a package deal. Dabo, So if they don't get
Dabo do, baby.
Yeah, you talking about Jacksonville with that owner, man, the money he got, man, and commit the way he wants to win so bad, and then all the draft capital they have from all the trades that they've been making over the last 2-3 years. I mean, it's a great situation, man. Great situation.
Hey, MB, I look at the coaches you said success, and what crossed my mind was style, meaning like oh gosh, just slipped my mind. Seattle Seahawks coach,
player coach, what?
No, yeah. So style with him, yeah. Okay, and then you said Jimmy Johnson, talent evaluator.
Yeah,
came to my mind with him.
Yeah.
And you said Harbaugh and somebody else, and I thought about scheme. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
something different. The other guys that you said ugly, I thought they won because of talent. Like the other guys. So I'm thinking, when you think of him, I actually think scheme. So I'm in the camp that he probably would do well. He out-schemed people everywhere he went. Even though he was more talented in his latter years, early on he wasn't, and he was still scheming the mess out of him. And I'm obviously talking about Urban when I said the last coach, Urban.
Yeah, but it's more than that, because you look at Nick Saban, right? His scheme, his ability to evaluate talent, right?
No, MB, I'm not. Listen, I'm one of them. I guess you know, in today's world, when you tell your opinion and if it alters from what his fans think, then you're hating. So I'm a Nick Saban hater. You know,
Okay.
like I tell the truth. Like you 5-starred out, and they talk about the championships he's had, and I'm thinking, why you ain't got more? Like you number 1 or 2 in recruiting every year, and it's a question that you gonna win or not. Like to me, it shouldn't be a question. Like if you know one of the dude who that's the big tuna baby, Bill Parcells told us. He said, man, all I'm doing is cooking the dinners, man. I want to buy them groceries. He gets organic. I need my food to taste good every week. No letdowns.
So Klew,
that's my tip.
you're okay. So you're talking about his time at Alabama. You're saying that he should win.
Yes.
He should have won more.
More. MB, when are they not 1 or 2 in recruit? When is not everybody else? When are they not everybody else not trying to get the crumbs? Like literally. Like Pac Jam was just telling us, he flipped this one, he flipped that one. They went from 2 to 1, and then they still flipping MB.
Right. So you're saying his failure and in the NFL is because, or he's what?
Because he's a coach that wins because of the kids.
He's a wow.
He does an excellent job of keeping the kids focused. You know, Pac Jam talks about a lot, the regimen, the style. You know, you don't see Alabama kids doing a whole lot of celebrations, and you know, they ain't getting no late hits. You know what I'm saying? Like the personality is taken stripped from them. It's almost like what we recognize as New England system. I mean, just think about it. What's New England's coach goes down there every summer to watch them. You see what I'm saying? Like, obviously he also recruiting because there's a couple that he probably gonna end up with, but they got the best groceries, MB. I don't understand why your food ever ain't good. Like I told y'all, the fact that Florida was that close to beating them, to me, is a travesty. When they can't match up nowhere when Florida defense was on the field, LB. Nowhere. Not, they could have ran the ball for 1,000 yards. They could have threw for 1,000 yards. You see what I'm saying? Like they couldn't match up nowhere, and they made it a game. How? When we all, like, to me, I knew what Florida was gonna do, and the fact that you got the best DBs in the country, when you pull up their stars, They the best DBs in the country. So what you doing to them when they get there? How they dropping? if Florida went out there and did them just like they did Kentucky DBs or Ole Miss DBs or Vanderbilt DBs, they treated them the same way.
so when you talk about Nick Saban, you saying that far as scheme wise, you got some questions about his ability to, huh?
It's nothing there.
Gotcha.
Like again, I think he failed because he couldn't get the talent. Like there was no lopsided talent. He's successful because
when you get lopsided talent. Okay.
Like let's see him win with less talent.
What about when he was at LSU? You think he lopsided talent?
That was
no, I mean LSU got some talent, but they didn't have. Yeah. All right. And Michigan State,
Louisiana, where he locked down Louisiana.
And Louisiana, that's definitely a state that's good. Hey. Okay, all right. Then what would you say, Steve Spurrier? What was his kryptonite?
He thought he was a scheme guy, but it turned out you were a talent guy too. All your guys were better than everybody else. I mean, if you look at his offenses and what they were able to produce, they also produced first-round picks at his 2 key positions, quarterback and receiver. Now the running backs did really good as well. We had some of them on the show, so a few of them was first-round picks. But he didn't care nothing about no running backs. It was quarterbacks and receivers, and they all when they were when his time there, they were first round picks. There were only a few of them, like Chris Dorn.
You talking about the quarterback?
No, I said like Chris Dorn. There was only few of them, like a Chris Dorn as a receiver that went undrafted, and all the quarterbacks were drafted. You know what I mean? They weren't first round picks.
Right. I was about to say. Yeah.
Like all of them. So these weren't bums. Back is what I'm saying. These weren't bad guys back there throwing, and all of them had decent careers. They weren't one and done guys. Most of them were backups. But see, my problem for that was I felt like he never even allowed them to play, MB, because he started that check with me mess. Truth be told, we look at the whole thing, all that looking to the sideline, and then you give us the play. He was playing, I used to clown all the time. MB say, Steve out there playing Madden, bro. Like, because remember, MB, he would tell them where to throw it. They had 2 reads. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you was basically telling dudes where to throw the ball, and then you felt like they was going to go to the NFL. See, I blamed him for those guys not having great NFL careers because they actually had to learn football once they got to the NFL. But he was out there playing Madden. They looked at him, oh, what, coach, what we do?
Right.
You want me to throw it to? Either the seam or this corner, okay. Like LB, I think I can play quarterback at that position. Like with I can check with me. I can't go out there and do it by myself, but check with me. When you telling me it's him or him, oh, I got that, baby. And I'm reading it one safety, and he stepped this way, I'm going there. To my second read, he stepped to my second read, I'm going to my first, baby. I can do that.
Wow. Okay. Very interesting. Okay, I got it.
But them successful guys you named, MB, I honestly thought, why? Like something stood out to me every time you said a successful coach. Like, oh yeah, that joker good. He's great at this. He's great at that. You know what I'm saying? And then the failures is like, bro, you really didn't. It wasn't you. It wasn't. So I know I'm gonna get blasted by the Gators and the people.
I'm curious. I just want to get your opinion on that.
Hey, you done throw me under the bus now.
No. I gave you opportunity to explain.
Hey, no, and you ain't said nothing.
I just give you opportunity to explain. I ain't going that way,
Well, Steve say, what happened to contesting receivers at the line of scrimmage? Fear, Steve. Fear. You see these boys blowing past these other boys? Man, I ain't going up there either.
Well, you know what? Since we at it, go ahead. You on the roll. Go ahead and talk about what Chip Kelly. What was this?
MB, let's Chip Kelly is easy, MB.
He
actually brought speed into the game. And when I say speed, I'm not talking about Florida speed, okay? Guys that can run. Okay. Yeah, he brought some LA guys, California guys to Oregon, and they could run. But no, like remember now, rules were changed because of Chip Kelly, y'all. Like they were running the next play so fast, not allowing teams to sub and all that. Nick Saban went to complaining, and they changed the rules. So now, if you sub on offense, he was doing that and subbing personnel, MB. And I think they were doing something crazy like 6 seconds or less.
Right.
Plays in.
So what was his issue in the NFL? Why did he fail? Huh?
MB, I just told you why he was winning in college.
So
you can't do that in the NFL.
So you're saying it was more just a system?
It was a gimmick. It was a gimmick. Yeah, it was a gimmick.
No, see, I was trying. Now, I actually was throwing you. In my opinion, I was actually throwing you an alley oop because he came in with the success. He had the success, but then he thought it was about him, and he started getting rid of the talent. So to me, because when he came in, that offense was getting it done. He was actually getting it done. He was getting it done. But then when he started trading his talent away, And then it was like, okay, that it shows. So I actually on that one there, I was hoping you would catch it. I was like,
Okay, no,
but that's fine. We got.
I agree.
I ain't. But no, I just how about to do it? I add that in then. That in addition
Yeah,
to what
I
you
agree
said,
with that, but I don't think that was the only issue.
I'm saying, look, if he'd have kept D-Jack, kept those guys,
I agree with that. That's what I'm saying.
He came in with success. I think it was like 10-6. He
Right.
came in, that offense was rolling, and on top of that, he didn't even have his quarterback that he wanted, that he needed to run that offense, and they was rolling. And people was like, man, what if they get the right quarterback for this situation? Man, this thing could take off even more. But then I think it's just got the egos got too big, where they're now, it was like that. It was like that. What you talking about?
Right.
Is it the athletes that he have? Is it D-Jack or is it the system?
Right.
And then it's like that's the pride kick in. Well, I'm gonna show everybody this is my system and this is my style. And then he starts shipping out the talent, and then now the offense went down because you gotta have talent, to be successful in that offense.
And I'll throw Steve Spurrier under the bus again for those same sentiments as well. He felt like it was about him too, which is why you bring an identical offense with no changes to it from the NFL. From the college ranks to the NFL, as if they ain't gonna watch no Florida tape, or you don't have to play against the same kids that you taught the same system to. Because when we played them, I'll never forget. Remember, Ike and all them came into the meetings. Okay, showed us everything, all the hand signals, and it was to the point, MB, I thought it was a lie.
Right, right.
Man, that's true. Do that. Whatever.
That's true. Yeah, I do remember that.
First 5 minutes or so, and then I blink. I say, man, y'all don't get me out there fired. That's what y'all gonna do. I'm gonna lose my job. I ain't said when he do this, running seams, all seams.
Right.
And I'm coming off the field, LB. Why'd you running down the field, you idiot?
That is true. I forgot all about that. That is true.
I was not going to be that guy. And it took me the first 2 series. I was like, bro, they doing this for real.
That's true. I forgot all about that.
I only had 2 games like that, and it's so funny of me that you say playing them and playing when Joe Gibbs came back.
Oh yeah.
And all we watched was Doug them. The whole week, all we did was watch Doug Williams them, and it was hilarious. Like everything happened, but we watching all our uncles play.
Right.
And he just replaced our uncles with the new guys. And MB, it was like, I'm like, bump that. I'm changing the front, making the defense slant the other into the play. I'm like, bump that, man. This is not real. And we won both games. You can't do that, LB.
Right. You got to make adjustments.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out how either one of them beat anybody after we played them, just because this was cheating. So Steve, that was hopefully I answered your question in there. Wow, MB. Initially I thought I may have not had nothing to talk about, MB. we ain't even hit half of this. How funny is that?
Mm-hmm.
We hit half of what we're supposed to talk about today. But I think it was good anyway, man.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
End of the year awards, MB. I don't know if you picked those. We can just run through those. Did you pick them?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just throw mine out there. We ain't gotta debate it. End of year awards, I threw out there NFL, y'all. This is what I'm talking about. MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year. I went with Aaron Rodgers MVP. Yeah, I did it, y'all. Aaron Rodgers MVP. Aaron Donald. I think I may not have too many arguments about that. With Defensive Player of the Year for the third would be his third time, I think. Because I think
it would be a third.
Yeah, he won 2 in a row. And then Somebody else, DB won it. Stephon Gilmore, I think it was.
Yeah, he won last year.
Okay, yeah. So then this will be Aaron again. Coach of the year, man, Andy Reid. To have a Super Bowl run, a Super Bowl champion, and then come back out and take care of business like this still an extension of the season before. And they've been the most quietest, dominant team, I think, ever, MB. Why aren't we turning the TV on and seeing them running a touchdown every day for a commercial? You know what I mean? Like, they are.
Well, you see Patrick Mahomes on
Mahomes on TV every day, but I'm saying the whole team. Like,
right.
I've never had a. It seems like I don't remember an NFL team being so dominant the year before, and not being the poster child for everything NFL the year after. And they're not only not that, but they're still winning. Probably they're winning more and better than they did last year. MB. So
yeah.
Because of that, I think Andy Reid's outdoing his coaching of last year, and especially under the circumstances with COVID and all this going on. We ain't heard nothing about their players getting into trouble, going to the strip club with no mask on. They keeping their mask on in the strip club, baby. And then my last one, last two actually, rookie of the year, offensive to a defensive Chase Young.
Oh wow! All right, so I'll start. I'll hit reverse if I can. Yeah. So rookie of the year, defense definitely go with Chase Young, or yeah, he's definitely he's the only rookie to make Pro Bowl on defensive side, right?
Yeah.
So even though his numbers are just it's not like monster numbers, he was hurt. And then offense, I'm gonna go Tua. Yeah, he just got benched in the fourth quarter. Didn't do enough body of work. I think number-wise, you got to either go you got to have Justice, right? So either Justice Herbert, right, who just broke a Baker Mayfield passing record for rookies, right? Or you go Justin Jefferson, the receiver for Minnesota, who just broke Randy Moss record at Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
And so Justin Jefferson was the other rookie that made the Pro Bowl. So I'll go those two guys as far as offense. And Joe Burrows, if he would have stayed healthy.
And I forgot to mention him. He was
he would have been in that.
Yeah, he was.
Coach of the year, you're right. I definitely agree with Andy Reid. Definitely deserve a lot of credit. My only knock on Kansas City, if I can say this part, is just they got a level of playing to the level of their competition. That's the thing that scares me the most about them. But they're so talented, they can get over it. But I definitely think Andy Reid definitely should get consideration. However, when you already established as a winner, right, you don't get the respect you deserve. Like Belichick, I think he won. The last time he won Coach of the Year was like 2010. Some like crazy number. You just when you already win, you don't get. It's usually the person who turns it around. And so with that in mind, it's numerous of candidates based on if they make the playoff. It could be the Dolphins with Brian Flores, right? Or it could be either Ron Rivera if the Redskins make it, right? Or the Browns, if they would have made it, the playoff, the job that he's doing. So I think that battle is kind of definitely up for grabs because it can go a lot of different ways. But I think it's going to come down to
Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo too, right? Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of those teams based on how well they do. They kind of reward the teams that turn around and do all this stuff. So I think that is going to play itself out based on how well teams continue to do, if who makes the playoff and whatnot, What else you say? Defensive MVP, I agree with Donald. I mean, closest people to him is T.J. Watts, who and Howard for Miami Dolphins, but
and Myles Garrett too.
Myles Garrett, but Myles is playing, but when you talk about defeated, like in that category, I mean, you got to be leading in something. T.J. Watts is leading in sacks. I think he's still leading. I know Aaron got a sack yesterday against Seattle, and then Howard is leading the league in interceptions, right? So you got to be leading in something. You know what I'm saying? I think. And but for me, Aaron Donald, even when he's not making a play, he's getting credit for the play. Man, Aaron Donald, I was watching the Seattle game yesterday, and like Aaron Donald, the other dude got a sack, but they gave Aaron Donald the credit because obviously, rightfully so, he got 2 or 3 guys blocking him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I agree with that. What else you have?
Hey, I'm reminded of old Kitty, boy. Kitty Hole.
Oh, Kenny, what?
Sit up, play opposite of straight. Baby.
Oh, yeah.
Slide that line to straight, baby.
Exactly.
Hey, I'll take it.
I'll take it. And you see it, and you see that factor, man. And they do a great job of moving him around, you know. And but you see that he's a disruptor, even when he's not making a play. He's a disruptor, man. He gets it done, man, and rightfully so. And then the last one, what you talking about? MVP. Yeah, I think, man, it's definitely a 2-man race between the quarterbacks. And right now, statistically, just by smudging, Aaron Rodgers is better, you know? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I definitely, but it depends on when the final vote come in, because the playoff can make, you know what I'm saying? And Pratt, you brought up a great point, Klew. You're right. Mahomes is, from a national standpoint, he's the only one from that Super Bowl winning team that's reaping the benefits. It seemed like from a, you know, off the field endorsement, you know.
Right.
But from that standpoint, like we joked around, like other than the running back and the receiver for Green Bay, it's like who's on their offense, you know?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Aaron Rodgers, I mean, by them, I wish they draft another quarterback the next year then to make him.
Well, MB and Steve, you hear Steve say, "How can you do Reed and not Patrick?" And MB just explained it. Yeah. Because Aaron is doing more with less.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Oh, and then you could throw it for as coach of the year. You could throw Green Bay Packers coach in there as well. You know what I'm saying? I think that's probably going to be the tightest race. Is who the coach of the year?
You say that, and I'm going to agree wholeheartedly with you. And had you said that, and we had talked about this, because me and MB on purpose don't discuss these shows so we can get real raw back and forth. Had we ever talked about this before, I might have switched my pick to Green Bay because of the same. Who thought they was going to be number one in the NFL?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they did well last year, but
nobody thought that.
Yeah, exactly. We was complaining about why they dropped the quarterback and need to get more help, you know. So so it definitely, man, is definitely. So I definitely understand that, you know. But you know what? It's like now Aaron's starting to get the recognition, the lock on it, basically based on his last game, what just happened with Tennessee Titans. But even the MVP voting, you seem like Mahomes is getting more recognition than it seemed like initially, you know?
Right.
Did I miss anything?
Huh?
Did I miss anything? I went backwards.
You went through. You went through everybody. Yeah, you went backwards, like you said, and ended up right where you wanted to with the MVP pick.
Cool.
So, man, we appreciate y'all stopping through, hollering at us, pulling up. You know us, baby. We appreciate you ballers out there, man, and coming in, and Merry Christmas to you last week. Happy New Year's to you this week, man.
Yes.
And I don't know when is New Year's? Is that Friday night?
Friday, yep.
Yeah, so we'll drop y'all off. We'll let y'all do y'all thing this Friday too.
Yep.
And come back hollering at you on Monday, man. We really appreciate y'all. Like and share us, guys. Make sure everybody, if you enjoying us, make sure you tell somebody about us. So we can
it's gonna be because Friday is when he got the college playoff though.
Yes, sir.
So it's gonna be some actions, man. Klew, quickly, who you got? Clemson, Ohio State.
Clemson.
Who you got? Alabama or Notre Dame? I mean, I gotta ask the question anyway. Alabama, Notre Dame.
Alabama and Clemson for the chip.
Cool. Sound good. We're on the same page.
I don't believe in Nick, man. I'm
I
sorry.
see that. I see that. I see that.
It was
I wish Pac Jam was here. I mean, I want, man, I would have. I stayed calm. I stayed like a reporter. I was like, I just wanted to hear what you had to say. So maybe we'll follow that up. Let Pac Jam get his breakdown.
I'm disappointed in Florida being able to play them that well. I don't see how they beat a Clemson team who has way more weapons on and are much better coached. I don't see how they beat a Clemson.
I'm telling you, if they keep running that 2-man on passing situation, matching up, they're gonna take that L. I agree with that because that when I saw that, I'm like, they not helping their guys out at all. You know, that's point shaving, and they got young DBs. You know, I'm like, put in zone coverage.
I will argue this with young DBs. That's the easiest coverage.
Exactly. That is true. But when you like in this situation where they were just so stuck, like I know we about to have the show all again, but I couldn't believe they kept playing that man coverage the whole time. I mean, I'm like, what are you doing? So if they don't change that, they're definitely gonna have some issues against Clemson. Because Clemson you remember that time that Clemson beat them. Clemson, like, they schemed them up, man. They schemed them up with that touchdown in the red zone at man covers. They did like a rub route. They schemed them up. And if they don't break, like you talked about how Steve Spurrier and keeping the same checks and all that. Right. If they don't scheme up change some stuff up, because they got some tendencies on the defensive side, but it's just that offense so explosive. If anybody can slow their offense down, man, they're gonna have some issues, you know?
Right. Yeah, I just think that shucks. I think obviously Ohio State can ruin Clemson's day. I think if Ohio State wins, then Alabama wins the national championship. But I think the winner comes from that game, MB. You know what I mean? Well, sorry.
No, I know what you're saying. It's either Alabama or Clemson, man.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
Appreciate y'all, man. Holler at us next week, man. Through. We appreciate y'all coming to check us out every Monday and Friday. Continue to do so. Like, share, subscribe. MP, we had some subscribers to the website, baby.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, showing us some love to the website. So www.sidelinethebaseline.com is in the building, man. We appreciate y'all showing us some love. MB, any part words?
Nah, we good, man. Appreciate you, man. Happy holidays to everybody. Thank you guys for joining. Hey, don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Show some love, baby.
And Chandler, we glad that your father is doing much better, man.
Yeah.
We definitely sending prayers out to him and for you and your family and him especially. Get better, Dad. Come over, cross over with us to 2021, baby.
No doubt.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, you know what? Hey, you know I do got something. You just triggered something in me. Man, I just want to give a shout out to Kevin Green's family.
Oh, yeah.
Man, my man KG passed away.
Yeah.
Man, he was my teammate at Carolina. Man, great dude. When you talked about earlier about accountability and holding people and training guys, man, and teaching people how to be a pro, man, this guy, man, he's the poster child for being a pro, you know? Man, I was fortunate at Carolina, man, to be around two guys that symbolized that, Sam Mills and Kevin Green. Sam Mills and Kevin Green, man. Those two guys, and I mean, Kevin Green walked on at Auburn, man, worked his way out, you know, ended up becoming a Hall of Famer, man, took pride, detail his work. When you talk about detail, I mean, he would break that film down. He knew, I mean, I remember we was on at Carolina, and Vic Fangio was our defensive coordinator. And Kevin was like, Vic, I need to do this. When they're offensive tackle, they get in a situation, they're doing da-da-da. Vic was like, no, I'll call it, Kevin. He said, no, you can't call it because you don't see it. When they do it, then that's when I need to call it, you know?
Oh, wow.
And he's like, trust me. And they was going, I was like, I was like, because Vic got called like Spike Lee. He come up with crazy blitzes and all that stuff. Great defensive mind. But I was like, man, I said, this a Pro Bowl player asking to do this, and most guys would have just did it.
Yes,
but,
sir.
But he had his discipline, his military background and stuff like that. He wanted to do was the right thing, and he's like, man, just trust me, Vic, just trust me. And then Vic finally gave him the green light, and boom, he did it. But it was based on film study, based on him seeing stuff, man, that it was no surprise, man, that how great he was. But man, just his personality, he'd have turned right. We used to call it Slappy. I mean, right. He the one like we talking about physical. Yeah, right. yeah. We used to do that in Carolina, man. He was the one, man. This dude, man, his personality, man, and just what he brought to the table, so intense. And just, man, so him and his family. So just please lift up the Kevin Green family, man, because they definitely, man, his wife lost a husband, his sons, his kids lost a dad, man. And I mean, he was a great dude, man. He great people, man.
Wow. So we appreciate that, MB, and you closing us up like that, man. Losing a lot of people not making it over to 2021, but God bless them and all
yes.
as well as we cross over, man. Appreciate y'all again. From sideline to baseline, we gone.